stats for this past week. As you can see, 187 new fires in just the last week, bringing our total now over 4,100 fires that have burned over 726,000 acres. But the big story here is look how many more fires we've had. It's about 300 to 400 more than last year for the same time period, but it's the acres that is the real story. Over 500,000 more acres burned this year compared to last year. And if we switch over to our graphic, it will show you just some of the large fires that have been burning across California and the footprint of those fires. In fact, the Mendocino Complex has burned over 300,000 acres, well over 300,000 acres, and it has now become one of the largest, actually it is #1 largest fire in our state's history. We don't have the graphic right now, but the Mendocino Complex has hit #1 in the largest fires within our state's history. Now today, over 13,000 firefighters remain on the front line of 11 large wildfires across California. Let's go ahead and jump right over to our statewide fire map, where you'll see there are 11 active fires burning across the state. Now those 11 fires, as you can see here, mostly up here in Northern California, but we do have some still in Southern California, which let's zoom in first down into Orange County, where we find the Holy Fire. The Holy Fire has been burning just on the border of Orange County and Riverside counties. 22,714 acres have burned. We are in unified command with the U.S. Forest Service here. The big news here, though, is crews have started to make progress, especially along the 15 corridor. A number of the evacuations that were in place have been lifted, but there are still some evacuations along the Cleveland National Forest, as well as both in Orange County near the community of Rancho Capistrano, and on the other side at the El Carrizo Village. There's also an evacuation, a voluntary evacuation, still in effect for the Trilogy community in Riverside counties. Highway 74 does remain closed in both directions, so if you are traveling between Orange and Riverside, you're going to have to find an alternate route. We'll go up north now to the Carr Fire, which has been burning now really since July up near Redding. This is the one that's caused so much destruction just outside Redding near Whiskeytown National Recreation Area. This has been burning both in Shasta and Trinity counties. We are in unified command with both the U.S. Forest Service as well as the National Park Service. As I mentioned, it started July 23rd and has just exploded in size since then. Over 200,000 acres burned, but today, 61% of this fire is contained, and most, not all, but most of the evacuations have been lifted. There are still a significant number of firefighters on this fire working towards getting full containment on the blaze. Now, let's go down south a little bit here, down into Mendocino and Lake counties. Even parts of Colusa County is where we find the Mendocino Complex. The Mendocino Complex is actually two fires, the Ranch Fire up here and the River Fire. A complex fire is when we have multiple incidents, in this case 2 of them, burning within the same general area, but operationally we run them as one incident. So when you hear us talk about a complex fire, that's because there are multiple fires burning. So let's go first, the River Fire burning up here, the River Fire down here burning just about 49,000 acres around the Cow Mountain area. All of this again just to the west of Clear Lake itself. 48,920 acres to be exact. This fire, though, 93% contained. Now, the much larger one is this one. This is the Ranch Fire. And the Ranch Fire has burned almost 300,000 acres in total. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this fire by itself is our state's largest fire in the history. But you add the next one, the River Fire, to it, and again, you get a significant number of acres burned. The Ranch Fire, nearly 300,000 acres, 59% contained. This fire has been burning since July 27th, causing significant evacuations, but many of those evacuations, as I mentioned, have since been lifted. One more fire we do want to highlight for you back up in Shasta County, just outside Boerne. Here's Boerne itself, Highway 299 going from Redding up into the Susanville and the Lassen County area. The Hat Fire has burned 19,000 acres. It's 62% contained. Now, there have been some road closures and still may be in the area along Highway 299. So between the Hat Fire as well as the Carr Fire. Highway 299 may have some restrictions driving on it. So if you are going to be traveling on Highway 299 in either direction, make sure you check with Caltrans first, because you may need to find an alternate route or give yourself a little bit more time when traveling through that area. Now, I'll switch over to our weather headlines for this week. As I started off at the top, we have been seeing a cooling trend, which we continue to experience, seeing lower temperatures in many areas over this past weekend. And the next couple days that will continue, but sadly those temperatures are going to go up. Here is today. You can see many areas hitting 80s, 90s, normal for this time of year. But down along the desert area, that's where we start to see the triple digits. Again, normal for this time of year. But jumping up to later in the week, you can start to see from today to later in the week, we're going to see a lot more 90s and triple digits in many parts of California, all the way from Redding down into Fresno. Now, there is a fire weather alert in the northeastern portion of California. This is Lassen County down into Plumas, Nevada, Sierra, right to the tip of kind of the Lake Tahoe area is where we find this fire weather watch. That means this area is in heightened fire risk. Why? Because we're expecting some possible isolated thunderstorms in the higher elevations starting tomorrow through Wednesday. So there is the potential for some dry lightning strikes in this region. We're on high alert, and we need you to be as well.